Gizmo. Gizmo. There we go. Oh, so cold, man. One of the last nights of the cold nights. This is it. Oh, boy. Oh, just figured I'd come chill for a bit. Nothing to do. Don't want to play games, anything like that. But things are going good. This is like the last cold night. After this, it's going to start getting a lot warmer from the weeks on. I even saw some days next week where it's in the positives. Hey, Zero. Hey, Debbie. And even better, April is getting very close. March 1st is when I sign the lease for the place. And then it's just the logistics and getting everything behind. I'm scared it's not going to fully work out. I have enough for the land and the trailer. Now we got to worry about the solar. So the solar, so I can, and the internet, so I can work. That's all I got to worry about. Then I'm good. But how are you guys tonight? I'm in a good mood today. Yeah, that's the biggest part of signing the lease. As long as I get that signed, I know it's there, it's real, and it doesn't matter how much time it takes to get there. As that's a place I'll have. That's the most important part. Then it's the dwelling, then it's the power, then it's the internet. Because I need power for the internet to work. But I'm super excited about that. But I really don't want to. I'm trying not to tout that today. I'm just here chatting because it's cold tonight, and I felt like talking to you guys and getting a stream on. I'm not going to be in Sudbury anymore. Actually, like 4 hours north, closer to Timmins. But it's a permanent place. One-time payment, and it's mine forever. And I don't. The best thing I have to think about this land is no property taxes. But the best part with that, when I've got it, I'll be able to invite people up. Like, I'm going to put out an open invite to every single person on the Discord and the YouTube. If you ever want to come up, send me an email. We'll talk for a bit, and I'm going to try to get a place for y'all to stay because it's pretty wild up there and really good fishing, and I'm looking forward to that. Well, no property taxes for me. It's a lease. 100% I'm getting it. I'm signing the lease on March 1st. Oh, I'm just excited. I've got to find more places to post the GoFundMe. I'm scared it's going to stall out. Because as it is now, I can do the land and most of a trailer. I didn't think it was going to get this far, and I'm super excited. I'm not going to be outside anymore, and I've got a job waiting for me that I'm actually going to be able to fucking do. Like, the worst thing in my life was I identified myself as a crane operator. It wasn't just a job, it was a part of my identity. I think that's what happens when, you put everything you have into your work. And having that taken away from me, like, I'm a person who wants to work. I am proud when I've got a job. It makes me feel fulfilled. And full-time work, it's remote work, but all places like call centers and that have all gone remote. So I'll be happy. Yeah, Big Street Cat. Leasing land, it's $5,000 for the land. Lifetime lease, and then all you have to do is pay your lot fees every year for it's $600 a year. It's pretty much off grid. The water, there's a well there I'll collect water from. Power has to be solar because you can't get gridded. And though that's my biggest concerns right now, it's getting to the point where one, I got to get the dwelling. That is, phase one is the land and the dwelling. Phase two is the power and the internet so I can work. But I don't mind walking to the well, collecting water. Oh, hey, John. How you? Oh, long time no see, John. John. There's no stream where I'm at. Unfortunately, I'm going to be very far away from it. It's going to have to be solar, unfortunately. Oh, not even a small garden. That's a half an acre of land. I'm going to have the plan is dig it all out by hand and have several not small gardens, several large gardens where I can grow my own veggies and like can my own corn and veggies and pickle. And I will be doing recipes, cooking my grandmother's recipes and all that stuff like that. Very long time, John. Things have changed a lot. Everybody's been wondering about you, man. But getting to this point has been 16 months living outdoors, 2 winters, and this is a last winter was easy. Last winter was mild, but this winter I'm up in Sudbury and I've been out in negative 40 degrees Celsius. I still have all my fingers too. That I had some pretty wild days. Like today, I went out collecting wood, and I found the entrails of raccoons torn. Raccoons have been taken out by the coyotes, and they just leave the organs and tuft of fur all around. It's kind of gruesome. Don't need it tonight. It's not that cold. It's only negative 13. I usually use it when it's about 20 below, negative 20 ish. I'm trying to save my power. I'm trying to go for the cheapest option. The only things I'm really going to need to power is my work setup, the interwebs, and a freezer. So I'm trying to figure out the cheapest possible option by looking on Alibaba for the batteries and the solar, trying to figure out how to keep it as cost efficient as possible. It's funny that you say that. I'm working right now. It is part time, and my boss knows the plan about going up there, and she said something about getting me a propane generator for a housewarming gift for a farewell. Well, that's going to be. I have to build everything by hand, man. I'm not going to have any things to build a cellar like that, and it's going to be the cheapest trailer I can find, like the cheapest camper possibly. I'm looking at one right now. It's $500. It needs more than a little bit of work, but it's going to be home. I had a couple options that are no longer options because they were sold, but I've got MS. And thinking that I thought everything was over for a while. Even if I ever got this ability, I wouldn't be able to afford an apartment. This is an actual chance at somewhat of a normal life. And I'm ecstatic about it. I actually don't want to. My plan was not to talk about this today, but I am. Oh, but yeah, no, I gotta always think Cornish, Jeremiah, and more for setting up. the GoFundMe. It's in my YouTube bio. But I owe them such a debt of gratitude. It's freaking freezing here. Oh no, man. Like even then, like when I got up to Sudbury during the summer, I left Toronto to go to Sudbury. I was on this spot, this exact spot when I first set up, and I left when I found that cabin, and I left there when it got knocked over and came back here. This spot has been good to me. Oh, John, it doesn't need to have centralized heating. I've got a plan for the heat. I'm going to do two ways of heating. I'm going to have a wood burning stove. I can retrofit that in. And as backup, I'm going to get a Japanese style kerosene heater. I think you can work to a point, but I've given up on getting disability. They've jerked me around too much. At least with this job, I'll be able to get a drug plan as well, and that'll save me $750 a month. That's how much I'm paying for my meds. I'll be spending $40 a month on the med plan. So that's another reason why I want that job. Oh, I know ventilation is key. You don't want to accidentally, not wake up in the morning. I have access to OHIP. I've got my OHIP, but our meds up here aren't free, man. Like usually you get the Trillium plan, but they've denied me so many times. This year I might have access to the Trillium medical plan because I spent over half of my last year's income on medication. I've got my health card right on me too, like somewhere. Yeah, the electric space heater will cost a little bit too much, but I'll fit in a wood burning stove with a proper chimney, and as backup a Japanese style kerosene heater. I will have access to my OHIP. I am actually doing fan-freaking-tastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. And I've got plans on plans for when they're there. I'm going to do so many dang projects. I'm going to share every bit of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, all I need to do is get to a location where I can work from, and I've already got it offered. It's a remote job for an insurance company as a first contact agent. Like, you get into a car accident, when you call your insurance, the first person to pick up the phone will be me. A diesel heater is not the best for an indoor setup. Like, I'm thinking of the reason why I want the kerosene. It's less likely to end my life. And the thing I'm looking at is I'm gonna be able to cook on top of it as well. I'm gonna get the kerosene heater for the simple reason that I can cook on it and it's safer, and kerosene itself is very energy dense. Exactly. I will have to get a battery powered carbon monoxide detector as well because I don't want to not wake up in the morning. Uh, Man, as long as it keeps me warm, I think I can be fine. And besides, the most 90, it's a backup to the wood I'm going to use. I'm going to get a small wood burning stove for the trailer, and I can cook on that as well and in it. And worst case scenario, if I really want, I can just make a fire on the outside and cook on that too. And I can have these big bonfire. Oh, I'm so excited. March 1st, I signed the dang lease. It's all between then and now. I'm looking forward to it. We hit 70% of the goal. We're at 70% of the main goals to get me there, get the solar, get me there to start working. Like an actual job. Yeah, I'll sign the lease on March and I'll be there for April-ish. Midway through April. Nate, I'm a Canadian. I just can't, say fuck Canada and run away. In fact, I'm a proud Canadian, but just because you're a proud Canadian doesn't mean you can't be angry at your country. I'm angry at the government. I'm angry at the programs. I'm angry at the social services, but I still love my country. Flying Otis, stay outside of negative 40 degrees Celsius. And Fahrenheit, that's also negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll have a different opinion about that. And I'll have an address, let hit, and I will have an address. Why does it just freaking ban the word shit? I say shit all the time. Well, I won't be roughing it anymore. And besides, during the summer when I was roughing it, if it was just too hot in the tent, I'd just sleep right under the stars. I'd say most Canadians stay in Canada for the winter. The older folks go down to the States. I don't have that option. I kind of have to be here. It's where my doctors are, where my medications are, basically where my life is. You're living in a van. That's actually really cool, though. The modern Canadian, no, it is not. That's also part of the thing is I'm going to have to pick up a three-wheeled bicycle, like an adult tricycle with pedals on it that I can't really fall off of, and attach an electric motor to it to get to and from town, because walking is like 4 hours. I can always hitchhike, but bicycle, I'll be able to stock up on groceries and come back. It's basically what I'm doing now. For me to get to town takes me about 3 hours. Yeah, well, for me to get to town right now, it's about a 3 hour walk. I hitchhike every time I need to go to town. I was in town yesterday until like 10 o'clock at night because no one would pick me up. I was having one heck of a time getting picked up to get back. I could build a cabin, but I'm going to cheap out and do a trailer, like a camper. Something that's built, that's ready to go, that I can get used. I'm in a tent in the wilderness of Canada, eh? Northern Ontario, eh? That's where I am, Mr. Fisher. But I eventually, when things are calmed down, I'm working and saving money, I probably build a tiny home in the future and then really do the trailer up nice, fix it up so I can invite people. If anybody ever needed a place to stay for months, they could take it. Most importantly, I want to give back. I want to show the kindness to others that I've been shown. Still haven't. I had some ideas of what I was trying to get that fell through, and now I've actually got to source the trailer for under $1,000, which, if you don't mind living in something that was built in the 80s, you can get. A trailer is much larger than that. The ones I'm looking at for under $1,000 are built anywhere between 1988 and 1995. And the biggest one was 27 feet long. The smallest one was 20. I don't want. I want it. I will not do an ice fishing hut. I will not do a small shed. I want to be able to stand up. I'm 6'3". I'd like to be able to stand up and have a place to sit and not just a bed. The land costs $0 monthly. It's a one-time payment of $5,000 to lease the land permanently. And then you have a yearly lot fee, and I think it's $150 for the tax and another $150 to $250 for maintenance. That's a yearly payment, but it's a one-time payment. The lease is yours for 99 years. 191 centimeters tall, 6'3". No, I've really scoped this out. It's legit. I've not only spoke to people who live there right now. I think I spoke to every family that lives there except for one. I had about an hour-long conversation with the organizer and the owner of the property today, just, figuring out the logistics, where I'm going to meet up with them to sign the lease. And they were very honest. They were not trying to dissuade me, but they were telling me all the pitfalls that I'm going to have living up there, that it's going to be a little bit different way of life for a city boy like you. And it's like, I wanted to be like, bitch, please, I've lived in the woods for the last 15 months. I'm good. In a tent, in the freezing cold, without heat. What happens when I outlive the 99 years? Don't tell anybody I'm a vampire. It becomes mine. Nate, that is amazing. They need to do more thing like modular housing for homeless people. Please do not elate me to Will Survives. I hate that guy so much. He's just too phony for me. Not this year. Not in the tent. I won't have any open flames in the tent. I've used it once to melt some snow, so I had something to drink. But I try not to have flames in the tent because melted plastic all over my body doesn't sound like a good time. No, Will Survive. I just don't like the whole showy personality he's got, and I've got my issues with him. He's a smart kid. He knew how to get the viewers, and yeah, he sold himself. Ah, because I want something more traditional that feels like a house. I don't want to feel like I'm living in a tent anymore. I like the idea of a trailer because it's very homey. Yeah, $5,000 for a yurt or $500 for a trailer from the '90s. I'd go for the trailer. Bushcraft type survivor. Fuck, what's his name? He's Canadian too. Les Strauss. Les Strauss is my hero. But I don't want. What do you, Mega? Why am I gonna sell it? I need a place to live. I don't get what you're getting at, man. Yeah, no. Les is he's real. You know he knows his stuff. I don't hate trailers. That's the thing, though. Like it wasn't good for you. That's fine, but I'm not you. I don't know how to play the harmonica. I can play the spoons like there's no problem. I'll play the spoons for y'all. Oh, Survivor Man. Oh shit. 3% power left. But it's gonna be cool. Eventually, I might build a tiny home. Once I get working, get my paychecks in, I can figure something out to build. My main goal right away, though, is to get the solar set up. Will be for day one. Get my office set up and start working. Day two will be the garden. Will be my next project. Will be sorry, the project after getting set up, basic setup. We'll be putting in a fire pit, then the garden, and then maybe build a chair as I'm making the fire pit. What do you mean, Brandon? Brandon Early, my next goal. It's not on public land, it's leased land. There's a project up north that I am signing on a lease with. Permanent lease, 5K for life. My plot is my plot. Oh, when I build the tiny house, it's going to be mine. But I do have a GoFundMe going on for the property and the trailer. If you check my bio, it's there. And I'm not trying to, whore it out tonight. I'm just trying to chat with you guys. But it's there. You can check. It's in my bio. Yep, it's something. Actually, one of my Discord people put me onto. I did a lot of research into this, and it's real. At first, I thought it was a cult. I thought I was going to get there and get sacrificed to the evil Dark Lord Shibubala. But it's legit. They're not crazy. And they were very honest with me about all the pitfalls, all the bad stuff, all the good stuff. That's a lot of land, man. I'm not. I'm going to have my little homestead, but it's not going to be no 96 acres. It's going to be a half an acre. just what I need. But all around me is like crown land too, so I can do some hunting and whatnot. Definitely gonna have to raise a chicken or two and hunt grouse and fish every day. Oh, Daryl, I thought the same damn thing. I thought one, it was complete bullshit that they're take the money and run. They're not. I thought it was a cult. They're not. I thought they're trying to scam for cash somehow, and it's a one-time payment written in a lease, but there are fees once a year for basic upkeep of the area, and it's like total of $600 a year. And the downside is you'll never be gridded power, you'll never have water. You're gonna have to compost your own feces, which I can do for my food. The only real rule there is not an HOA. It's the only rule is just keep your shit clean. That's the rule. Don't just trash your area. No. It's like right beside a nuclear power plant. All the dogs there got three tails. No. There's a well there you can fill up from. I'm gonna probably go with water collection. Build, just collect rainwater and do some bit copper purification plus a couple water filters and whatnot. Hey, Rika. Earth ships. What is an earth ship? I do not know what this is. It goes pretty well, actually. Pretty well. I'm enjoying tonight. Now that I actually have power to stream, I am streaming. I'm not dead. Oh yeah, it was leadhead. Don't you know what it's all called and stuff, but don't go spreading it around. I don't want people just showing up. I want to keep the rest of it confidential because I didn't think it was going to come this far that I'm actually going to get to go. So just keep the name of it on the down low, please. Well, I'm signing the lease March 1st. It's looks like it's happening, yeah. Yep. I was speaking to them today. There is a public well with good water. I will have access to water. Worst case scenario, rainwater is what I'll get, but there is access to water. And how you doing, Mark? Nice to see you here. Nate, it's if you do put a structure up, you've got to follow building codes, but it's also on unincorporated land. Christopher, I'm fantastic. Oh, I'll accept that. I will accept captaincy. It is private property. Well, you're not allowed to put in a septic tank there. Here, I'm going to do. Again, I've talked about regenerative agriculture. It's something I'm very interested in. I like regenerative agriculture. So I'm going to have a few gardens where I can grow my food. I'm going to eat this food, and I'm going to waste this food. That waste, I'm going to compost back into fertilizer, humanure we'll call it, to feed the plants that I'm going to eat. Warrior, you too. Oh, Christopher, my mental health has been looking up recently. I had been in a bad place for a while. I think I'm better than I've been in a very long time. I haven't sourced the trail. The trailer hasn't been sourced yet. I'm trying to find options, and I have someone also assisting me with that. It just needs to. All I need in a place for the trailer, I need to be able to stand up straight, as in the ceilings have to be over 6'3". I need to have a bed and a place to cook. I don't. As long as it's not a complete wreck, I can fix it up and make it what I need it to be. If it's done properly, yes. You're not just gonna, dump your droppings right into the garden. You're going to compost it properly with other food waste. The best way I've seen to do it is get yourself an old oil drum, get it on its side, cut it out so you have an opening to put it in. Mix your other waste products like your peels or scrapings from potatoes in with it and let it compost for fill it up and let it compost for a year before you use it. Oh, I'm a good builder too. I'm looking at some older ones. I found one today for there. He's just trying to get rid of it. The inside is acceptable. It's very old and dated, and I would have to tear out a lot. But $500. I think it's like a 95. I'll have to do some sealing to make sure it's 100% waterproof. But if it's roadworthy, it's passable. It's something I could make a project over the summer to fix and turn it in what I want. Because all it needs is a working stove, a place for me to sleep. Everything else doesn't matter. Good night. And fault orange, most trailers don't have built in. I will source an antique wood burning stove, fix it up, and put it in myself. That'd be cool. Yeah, go down fishing, come out with a gold nugget the size of my head. No, that's the thing. That's why I'm okay with getting an older one that people are just trying to get rid of. Where someone sees an old wreck of a trailer, I see potential. Like there's one, the outside, it looks pretty rough. It needs a good wash. It needs to be fixed up a little bit. But there's nothing like a little bit of sealant can't fix with paint. Paint it green, make it look nice. Honestly, the first tool I'm going to have to buy is a crimper and wire splitters because the first thing I have to do is one, I've got to figure out how to source and where to send the solar. But then the first thing is to get the power up and running. So the first thing I'll need is a crimper. Yvette, I think the hardest thing to get it will be to get it in there because those things are freaking heavy. It depends. Like, does your trailer have an air conditioner or a skylight up top? It wouldn't be that hard. You just take the skylight out, run the flute through that. I would try to get a stainless steel sheet to put it there. Um, get some weather resistant sealant around there to keep the heat in. Run the flute out that, and you'll be fine. That would work fairly easy. And on the ground, I would put Where the fire pit sits, I would try to put something on the ground that's not wood or linoleum. Maybe if you could, a concrete slab or something where the thing can rest, where the stove can rest itself, because you don't want coal falling out and burning the trailer down. Yeah, like a bathroom tile, something like a stone tile would work really well. Mega, I don't need a build. A cabin would be for the future. That's way out of my budget. I'm okay, honestly, okay with a trailer. I'm more than okay with a trailer. I'm happy with it. Sudbury, it's like negative. I don't know what people would do for fun. I know what I would do for fun. That's fish and walk in the woods and have fires and read. I agree. Yep, things are getting better. Oh man, you'd have to stay on the property. We'd figure something out for a place for you to stay. It'd be kind of fun. Some sort of backup generator is going to be a must. Um, um someone said, my boss said if when I go, she's going to get me a propane generator. But if she doesn't, I'm going to have to get some sort of generator or something small that I can have as a backup, because I'm going to, if the sun's not perfect, I have to work. I'm going to have to run a generator. Hondas are really good. I think Furman generators are pretty good too. I would just need something like a small inverter or something. Yep. Again, a generator is on the list of things that are needs. Oh, even then, I won't be running much. Like, there's three major things I have to run with power. And in the winter, one of them I won't have to run is a freezer so I can store, meat and whatnot. Not so much in the winter. That's the major one. I have to be able to charge a computer. I'll have to be able to run a computer for work. And the internet. Three things I need power for. So my power needs aren't that great. Even with the lighting in the trailer, there are other options than actually using the built-in lighting. I could figure something out that way. Um, well, mine I'm putting garden in, but on the property there, what they have a store on the property, um, and they are working. I was talking with him. He said he's going to try. He's putting in public showers like this year. Though over this summer, there's a wide range of community stuff they're putting in, and I believe there's laundry there already. That's Rika. Rika Shadow is the framer. Yvette Propane. I'd have to go down to the gas station with a three-wheeled bicycle that I'm planning on. Yeah, no, I like. I'm a bit of a neat freak, so having a way to keep my laundry clean is a must. And until the showers are built, I've already figured an option out so I can have my daily shower. I'm gonna just grab one of those small little camping pumps. It's a camping shower system. You throw some heated water in, and you got a shower there. And yeah, no, I won't be going into town much to do laundry. Like, and even worst case scenario, I can get a micro washing machine and air dry my stuff. Sorry, what? Nickname. I'm just going through all this stuff. I'm very happy for him, jealous. I wouldn't have ignored me. Nickname, what's going on with you? Are you okay? Hey, Shabs Vlogs. What's going on, Nick? Look, dude, I'm very blessed. And I appreciate everything, you know. I've met a lot of fantastic people. Bleak, I use a lot of blankets. I don't even have the solar panels yet. I'm still trying to source them. I've got to find options to get them sent into the country or get them sent so I can actually have them. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to source the cheapest option. The best option I found is was six 200-watt solar panels for a total of 1,200 watts. That's the cheapest option. It's just they're still 2 months away. I haven't figured all that out yet. Same with the batteries. I'm probably gonna have to go with four 280 amp hour batteries. It's just sourcing them is hard. I'm trying to catch up on there. Jay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 600. We don't have Harbor Freight up here. No streams near me. Not at my location. There are rivers, but that's a bit of a jaunt. I'll have one. I'll have a half an acre. A half an acre is a lot of land. That's more than enough for me to put in all the gardens I'll need. I can do all that. Honestly, it's. I'm gonna put it this way: is I don't necessarily want to build a cabin or anything like that. If I was gonna build, it's gonna be a very very tiny home. But in all honesty, I would prefer the trailer. just because if something is ever to happen, it's not going to happen, but that's movable, and that's all I need. It's comfortable, and I don't need much. And I like the idea of getting an older trailer for dirt cheap and making it the way I want it to be. It's something like upcycling and reusing stuff from the past. I really like that idea instead of, building new. I like fish more than anything. I also like beef and pork. Chicken I can live without. More detail on the garden. Anything that grows well in Canada. So green peppers, green beans, all the cabbages, and some hot peppers. I can do that, Rika. Definitely gonna have to grow some potatoes too. My plan was before heading up there is try and get a good shop done, like head into Sudbury before and rent a room the day before I go, so I can hit up Walmart and buy several sacks of potatoes and big sacks of rice and quinoa, so I can start use the potatoes I grab as seed potatoes to do a nice area of potatoes. Mostly river fish. Like we've got a lot of lakes and rivers up here. My favorite fish for the fight is a pike. Favorite fish for eating will be walleye, um, or bass. I also pike if you know how to fillet it. I can fillet it without the bones. Uh, it depends how you're gonna cook it though. If you want something spicy, go for a pike. The meat is a little bit more yellow before you cook it, but it's more it's less flaky than bass, and it holds up to spice very well. Thank you, Nick. I'm honestly ecstatic. Who is that? Uh, but again, like for me personally, I don't think a cabin is good. If I'm putting a cabin down, it'll be for when somebody comes to visit or I'm having people up for them to use the cabin. In all honesty, I kind of want the trailer to be my permanent home and fix it the way I want it to be. Oh, Grim, 100%. I am building not a smoker, but a smokehouse. I'm going to do a native style log smokehouse so I can, if I ever do go hunting and I get myself a deer, I can smoke a whole dang deer. I've got a fishing rod, don't have a fishing reel, but when I've got someplace to ship, I will give the shipping details. I will always take fishing gear because I love me some fishing. My last reel, I was fishing in Toronto and I got something so big it freaking broke the reel. But most importantly, I'm looking forward to the land because there's gonna be a someday where I meet somebody who needs a place to be, and I'll be able to say, "Hey, I've got a spot for you to sleep." I got a spot for you to help. Come here and I can help you. Good night, Mark. I can harvest fish with the fishing pole. I love fish, man. I love fish. Dude, I don't got money to buy anything with, and I think crypto's a scam. Cabbage happens to be my favorite vegetable. Broccoli would be my third favorite vegetable. Cauliflower would be my second, but my favorite dish is a broccoli dish, which does a lot. It's getting to that point where it's going to happen. Well, that's the thing. In a very not too distant future, I'm going to be in that position where I'll have my job, I'll have a bit of extra income, I'll have my camper for myself. I could get a small little tiny home put down, and I'll come across somebody with when I'm just doing my thing on YouTube with nowhere to go, and I'll get them up here, and I'll make sure they have something to eat, and I'll make sure they got a nice warm place to sleep, and help them get work and get on their feet, and that would be amazing. Oh wow, I didn't. We're at 70%. That's awesome. Hi, Gloria. I really look forward to being able to stream campfires from there and post little projects and maybe have a cat or a rabbit and do a 24-hour around the clock live stream of vegetables growing. The most exciting live stream ever. Vegetables growing. Well, I promise you, the first project I do on the land, besides getting solar set up, we'll be putting in a proper in-ground fire pit. I think I'm gonna do it in a really weird way. Is I'm gonna buy one of those very large Caesar salad bowls, like the super big ones that restaurants do get to make a show of, a stainless steel one. Dig a hole in the ground, put that in the ground, fill it halfway up with rocks so the fire sits really nice and high. Around it, I'll put some stones and stuff and have a proper, neato fire pit. I'm in the state of constant panic. I'm in Canada. So yeah, the state of constant panic. I get that. Oh, that makes sense. Bleak 100%, especially up there. There's more to forage up there. I've already scoped areas out on the land, like to the northeast of the land. I found a bog, a spring, and if you look around the spring, there is wild rice growing. I'm going to be foraging wild freaking rice. I like that, but that's not. I like my fire to be a little bit lower on the ground. I'm thinking about digging a hole and lighting it with, like, again, a salad dish or something like that, so it can be further down and I can have a nice big bonfire out of it. Grim, we've got wild rice up here. Wild rice grows. There are a few spots in central and northern Ontario where rice grows. Well, I like more of a concave. Like I don't want it to be very low, but I want it to be in the ground, just so I can also like do underground cooking. Oh, dude, look it up. It's so neat. We also have like a half a dozen wild grains that grow. Like in the grass, they kind of look like miniature wheat things. Fucking Christ, forget the name of it. But it is an actual wild variant of wheat. You can harvest it. You don't get much off of it, so you'll do a lot of harvesting. But you can walk around the woods and harvest it and dry it out, bake it off in the oven, and turn it into bread. There is a lot to actually forage in this country. There's a few fir trees you can cut down, strip off the bark, and on the inside it's called tree bacon. That's not the real name for it, but you can scrape off a layer just underneath the bark, cook it, and eat it. You can have guns. I don't need a gun, though. If I'm going to hunt, probably it'll be for small game with a bow and arrow. Probably, again, with a bow and arrow, because don't need any special licensing, don't need any safes for a bow and arrow. Nah, man, I don't. That's the thing. I think the deer up here think I'm one of them. The deer up here just walk up to me. I've had them less than 5 feet, like away from me. I can reach out and hunt them with my hands. So I don't need to hunt them. They come to me. Oh, speaking of which, I went out to collect firewood today. Uh, I'm not going to have much of a raccoon problem anymore. The coyotes got them. I found what was left of his fur and organs all spread out everywhere just outside my camp. It was unpleasant. I will do that. Waypoint survival. Chasing, that's funny, man. No, no, there was not enough left for a hat. It was just a scene of gore and entrails. It's just right outside my. It was maybe 10 feet away from my camp, and it was unpleasant. It depends what kind of land. If it's unincorporated like it is, not much with permits, but still, I'm gonna play it safe with the trailer. Uh, Property tax, I'm not gonna have to worry about because it's a lease, and I just pay a the only bill I'll have is like maybe $600 every year just for fees and tax and whatnot. And it's just getting to that point, which is less than 2 months away. And it's my birthday next month. I'm gonna be an old bastard. This is the 2025, so I'll be 37 this year. Ugh. Last year was Year of the Dragon. I was born Year of the Dragon. Actually, that was another theory that what this actually was going on there was: one, it's a cult; two, it's a nudist colony; three, it's a swingers club. But no, just homesteaders being homesteaders. Yes, sir, we is. Once I've got the address to send it, I will find. See, for me to get mail, I still have to travel to town, but I will open it up and probably rent a P.O. box so you don't know exactly where it is, but I will be able to get mail. I will have the land for the 1st of March. I will sign the lease. Oak Ridge Taxidermy. How you doing, Oak Ridge Taxidermy? Did not expect that name. But yeah, it'll be, we'll secure the land for then, and everything in the meantime is hopefully we hit the main goals for the GoFundMe so I can actually have power and a job, which would be fantastic. Trying to keep warm, always keep it safe. Thank you. You have a good night. Guys, I'm starting to get a little bit, I'm doing a lot of talking. My throat is starting to get sore. My jaw's starting to get sore. I might have to call this a night. Oh, thank you for the super. But yeah, probably going to have to call this a night now. Thank you, Oak Ridge Taxidermy. And again, the GoFundMe link is pinned right here. It's also in my bio. Don't feel pressured. If you can't afford it, please don't hurt yourself. Take care of you first. But there's the link for the GoFundMe, and we're getting closer and closer every day to the goals. And holy crap, this is actually happening. I'm going to have a home. You guys take care. Bye-bye.